Young Justice's fate is currently up in the air, with many articles being titled with clickbait titles that the show has been cancelled. But that's actually not true. Not being renewed and being cancelled are very different things. And while yes, shows are typically renewed before the latest season ends, that's not always the case, especially with streaming shows. And it has been said by the showrunner that there is still hope for the series to continue. While James Gunn has said that he's aware that the show has fans. Personally, I think the show will definitely get a 5th season. Mainly because if it wasn't, I feel as if DC would have already cancelled it, as they have with many different things. The Batgirl movie, Batwoman, Legends of Tomorrow, Doom Patrol, Titans, Stargirl, Naomi. Therefore, I want to make a video on the 5 things I want to happen in Season 5. I will not include things like the Female Furies, Supergirl, or Heroes in Crisis, or Emerald Empress, because those things are clearly going to happen. Instead, this is a video on what I hope happens, that I'm not entirely sure if it will. So, let's start. Harper becoming Bluebird. With Halo and Harper now being in an official relationship, we'd likely see more of them next season. Harper in the comics is a pretty cool character, with her being a superhero called Bluebird, who was once even considered to be in Injustice 2, before being dropped. The character's blue hair is a clear reference to this idea that the character would eventually become Bluebird on the show, implying that she likely will eventually. And personally, I kind of want to see it on screen because this show has a bit of a reputation of always doing things off screen. Wendy becoming Windfall, Courtney becoming Stargirl, Stephanie becoming Spoiler, etc. I'd also be up to see more of her brother Cullen, who recently had a pretty strong storyline involving Punchline in the comics. However, I could also see that maybe it would be too crowded to have him around. Well, have him around that much at least. But I anticipate that he will at least appear in a few episodes. Next up is I want a more contained story. Well, I personally love every season of the show. The last 2 seasons have felt very much like they were filled with every single character they possibly could use. And while I love DC characters, I personally would argue that they need to use less characters, as it gets overcrowded, and because of that, a lot of the characters we want to see don't exactly get as much screen time as we want. And the ones I personally want to be a part of this focus group will be the following: Nightwing, Oracle, Orphan, Tigress, Rocket, Halo, Bluebird, Cyborg, Superboy, Ms. Martian, El Diablo, Kid Flash, Static, Beast Boy, Spoiler, Arrowette, and Stargirl. Which, yes, sounds like a lot, but it's not as many as the previous seasons. Next is I want a more fulfilling ending. You see, while I love Season 4, I thought the season finale was very messy, with all the plots being forced together in a way that ended up being, in my opinion, very unorganic. While certain plots, I think, being tied together can work, such as Beast Boy and Ms. Martian, however, the Zod's family being established was something that I think had to happen a lot earlier in the season. Because by the time they did it, we were on the tail end of the season. And instead of organically tying the plots together, it would use its screen time to show the Zod family interacting. Something that they had to rush since they had to get to the final battle, which made, in my opinion, the last 2 episodes really hard to get through. Also, the constant fake-out deaths were a lot. Like, a lot of them. We had Rocket, we had Nightwing, we had that entire other team. We had Chase. And earlier on in the season, we had Superboy, which I thought was very well done. But the other fake-out deaths at the end of the season, in my opinion, weren't as well done. Maybe I could get by maybe 1 fake-out death at the end of the season, but there were like 4. Next, I want to see the return of Geo-Force and Infinity Inc. Now, I loved Infinity Inc. I thought the concept of them in the comics was never really used as well as it could have been, with a lot of them being killed off really quickly. As in the version they're using on the show, not the original Infinity Inc., who were separate characters. But seeing Geo-Force here being the leader of this version of the Infinity Inc. was, in my opinion, great. I hope seeing this team have a bigger role next season. Maybe Geo-Force will rejoin the team and be redeemed. And maybe Fury will be redeemed, because she herself very obviously has some redeemable qualities. But I don't see Trajectory or Everyman ever being redeemed, clearly being ruthless villains, which I think you need, because we need villains who are going to be unsympathetic. And Trajectory and Everyman, in my opinion, were really cool ones. And they barely had any screen time, and yet they really chewed it. And finally, I want them to explore the Damian, Wayne, and Red Hood storylines. Now, the reason I put them together is because I think they're likely connected, seeing how Young Justice likes to make changes with the connected storylines, and kill 2 birds with 1 stone, like the Batgirl parallelization storyline. now being connected to Orphan. Damian and Jason are both with Ra's al Ghul, Onyx, Talia al Ghul, and Cheshire, all of them I also want to see again. And I also want the Red Hood storyline to have a different take, because recently Titans did the exact same storyline. Well, I guess not that recently. But I think they should make some changes to make the Red Hood storyline very different. Which might be controversial, because I know a lot of people really like that comic. Personally, I like the anime movie a lot more. And it's just my opinion. You can disagree with it. And that's it. Like always, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.